Fill in the blank on FFT in 5 right now. Adam and Jamey, here we go. Jamey, if Aaron Rodgers plays every game this season, Garrett Wilson will finish as wide receiver blank in full PPR.
Assuming everybody is healthy and that's being drafted in front of him, I will say wide receiver 7.
Okay. You have him 7th?
I have him 8th.
Okay. All right. Wide receiver 7. Blank finishes as wide receiver 1 for the Chargers in PPR this year.
I'll take my chances with Lad McConkey. I think he steps into the Keenan Allen role for Justin Herbert, not necessarily getting that many targets, but I mean, you look at what these other guys profile as right now. Quentin Johnston, DJ Chark, more down the field threats will kind of get pushed aside despite maybe being more talented than people recognize. There's a lot of moving parts with this team, and we know they're going to want to run the ball. So I think McConkey getting drafted where he was, going to the team that he ended up with, he should have the chance to be the best Chargers receiver this year.
Would you take him in the top 80 of drafts?
Top 8 rounds?
Top 80 overall.
Oh, 80. I'm sorry. He's right on the cusp there. Yeah, we referenced our magazine draft a few times. I believe he went, if I'm not mistaken, by Thomas ahead of Jaden Reed. And I was surprised by that.
I get it, because we've talked about how Reed really struggled when Watson was on the field. He just crushed it when Watson wasn't, basically. But that's not what ADP is. ADP has Jaden Reed so far ahead of Lad McConkey. All right, number 3. Of all the veteran running backs on new teams, blank will be the best draft value. Of all the veteran running backs on new teams, blank will be the best draft value.
There's 3 that come to mind. It's Gus Edwards, it's Devin Singletary, and I think the one that probably makes the most sense for this is Zach Moss, just because he's going to the best team of that trio. But I'm going to go with Edwards, just because I think he's going to fall. Him and Singletary will fall the furthest. And I know there was video that got sent out yesterday. Somebody tweeted it about J.K. Dobbins trucking his trainer. I don't know if you saw that. Somebody was holding a blocking pad, and he just obliterated the guy.
Very nice.
And, I drafted, we keep referencing this draft, Kamani Vidal, because I think there's some hope for him, even in the secondary role. But I think going to the Chargers is big for any of these running backs, and Gus Edwards may have the best opportunity to, be a double-digit touchdown guy.
If Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb are completely healthy, they will finish as QB and RB blank for the year.
Deshaun Watson will finish as QB 14, and Nick Chubb will finish as RB completely healthy, like back to normal.
Yeah. Cool. Well, no, like back to normal, but coming off major knee injury, but playing.
RB 18.
Yeah, Watson has some sleeper appeal. If you just look at how he did last year, he played quarterback pretty poorly and was still scoring about 20 points per game because he does a lot with his legs. I think people are pretty much done with Watson, but I don't necessarily think you should be. And finally, blank finishes the season as the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So last 5 games of the year, last 3 games of the year,
however
last
you
game
want
of the year.
It finishes as the starter.
I mean, if we're going to do that, I'll take Justin Fields, because I could see a situation where Russell Wilson is struggling in the eyes of Mike Tomlin and not, getting the job done and not being the game manager I think that he was brought in to be. And they want to see Justin Fields, if A, can lead them to, some playoff wins, because they'll always be on the cusp. Or if for whatever reason they're out of it because Wilson has struggled, they want to see what Justin Fields has for next year. So Fields.
Thank you, Jamey. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you on Monday on Fantasy Football Today in 5.